job. Like I talked about in the original video where I was talking about what each function or what the function of each paragraph is, your introduction introduces things, your body paragraphs prove the thing that you introduced, your conclusion wraps things up and hopefully connects things to a deeper truth, connects things to the world. This first page is just to kind of if I were you, and again, your guest teacher is going to be in charge of this, you should spend some time with a partner and just think through in what way does this story connect to your life. So sit down with the buddy at your table or the whole table or whatever and just think about what similarities, what differences, what lessons can you learn. And then you're going to think more specifically about the message or whatever it is that you chose to write about. So if I wrote about, I don't know, how people when they're lonely, they react poorly to things or turn into the worst version of themselves, I'm going to write about how yeah, there have been some specific times in my life where I'm feeling lonely and sad, and that turns me into a monster towards other people, or whatever that may be. So, if I, yes, walk through those steps, just maybe think through how does this apply to the real life. And now here's how you're actually going to write your conclusion. You're going to restate your claim. Again, this does not mean copy and paste. It means put it in different words, but use a lot of the same language. You're going to describe the deeper meaning. So up here, what did you come up with by yourself or with your friends? Or the people at your table, connect to that deeper meaning, explain how this story or this message, how specifically this message that you talked about in your whole paper, how does that apply to the real world? And then, again, make that connection even more clear. So, claim, story, or claim, real life, connect story to real life. So here's what I wrote. The surprising good that forever alters Faye and Aldo's lives is a sweet relief because both of the depth of their because both the depth of their love and the unexpectedness. Wow, guys, I'm too tired. The surprising good that forever alters Faye and Aldo's lives is a sweet relief because of both the depth of their love and the unexpectedness of it. Ignore everything. It was right the first time. This is so embarrassing. But again, I'm not going to re-record this video. That's my rephrasing my claim. Now I'm going to connect things to life. Luckily, things tend to work out not just for the characters in the stories, but also for people in the real world. It is often in times of trial that people recognize the resilience and strength within them, or they learn to rely on those around them, just as Faye did. I'm going to be, transparent and say I felt some feelings writing this sentence because this is where I'm living right now, right? I'm not at school right now. You know that I hate not being at school right now. And so, this stupid story about the flu that I actually is not even one of my favorite short stories, weirdly spoke to me in, a hopeful way of, yeah, sometimes things are really hard. And yet, I think it's true that good things can come from those, bad, hard times. So, you don't have to feel things the way that I did when I was writing this. But, do try to think about, okay, what could I actually learn or reflect on or the very least, share with someone else. And then this is where I kind of try to connect what I thought about in the real world to the story. Stories like Flu can give hope to those going through a hard time that, although darkness may seem to be closing around us, there will be light and good and change at the end of the tunnel. I chose these words intentionally, partially because they make me feel something, partially because that, I don't know, it's a Harry Potter quote about light in the darkness, but also I think that's just a message of hope. I think that things will change for the better, and I chose change because, that happens in the story, it happens in real life, and that most closely matched my thesis statement, my claim. So this is the conclusion. Again, notice it's very short. Mine is only 3 sentences. There are 3 pretty long sentences. So if you are writing super short sentences, maybe flesh it out a little bit more, but look how long it is. It's not terrible. Just 3 jobs. Introduce your idea, connect it to the real world. This part can be longer if you have more to say. The only reason I didn't write more is because I was feeling too much, and then connect the story to the real world. You got this. You are thoughtful. You are wise. You are good writers. You are going to write excellent conclusions.